Hi, my name's Lee Bushby and I'm here to do a quick presentation on addiction treatment and digital marketing. I've been asked a few questions over the past couple of weeks in relation to digital marketing and how it impacts on addiction treatment. So I thought I'd put a little slide together and explain that further in answer to those questions. So firstly, before we begin, let me just cover the company I work for, Adds Up Marketing, what it does and why we're here. Basically, Adds Up Marketing was set up by a group of people who had all been working in marketing within the addiction treatment space, and having been running campaigns managing up to 800 beds for admits per month, and over a very short period of time managed something in the region of about $80 million in PPC spend and direct marketing, direct response marketing. Um, and over a very short period, as I say, averaging between 2.5 million and $5 million a month in that PPC spend. So there's a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge there, and as you can tell, people spending that sort of money obviously have learnt their trade. So moving on from that, basically, what are we trying to do here? Addiction treatment. We're trying to help people. Very simple solution to a major problem. And basically, let's break it down. You have people who have addiction issues and need help, or actively looking for help, or loved ones are looking for help, and they reach out on the internet, on Google, wherever it might be, to try and find someone that can help them. They reach out, they make contact once they've established a facility or a place that they want to try and talk to, and then hopefully that facility gets them into treatment and can help them on their road to recovery, which is great, super smashing great. And then that person can get on with a better quality of life, which is wonderful. But there's hurdles and problems in getting to that point, and there's some very big hurdles that over the last couple of years that have come to light. So I'm going to quickly go over those and explain the hurdles. Now, the hurdles primarily within the addiction treatment space historically has been the bad rap and the bad press, and rightly so, I guess, to a degree, for the lack of regulation and the bad conduct and the abuse of the system and abuse of insurance and things like that. And it's really tarnished the industry, and especially in Florida. Florida has a bad rap as well. So if you're doing addiction treatment in Florida, you need to try and disassociate yourself with a bad press. Make sure that your public reputation, everything you do is A plus, is the best you can possibly do. You deliver the best quality of service and don't get drawn into any of that negative aspect of the industry. So it's your company is what you make of it. Don't let it be dictated by the history and the news and the public impression. But you make if you believe in your company and you put the best quality of service to your clients, and set their expectations correctly, then you won't have a problem. And then, following on from that bad reputation, there was Florida legislation that impacted on the Florida addiction treatment centres, dictating what they could and couldn't do, what they could say, how they could treat patients, just making sure that the treatment facilities weren't false representing themselves and things like this, and they weren't giving promises and making statements to potential clients that were factually incorrect or actually outside of law in some respects. So that's another aspect of it. And then following on from that, shortly after, Google, having obviously been on the end of this conversation, having been brought up in this conversation and the bad press, decided we're going to pull plugs, we're going to not have any ties to addiction treatment in the paid market space, and actually pulled the plug. And that was detrimental to some of the largest companies who have really had all their eggs in one basket and were doing PPC as their main avenue for client acquisition, and caused big problems, job losses, facility shutdowns, and all sorts of things. But to move forward, Google obviously realised they had to get back in the game, so they took on a company called LegitScript. Now, LegitScript is there to regulate the industry, essentially to allow certain people to get back in the game and advertise within Google. And to do that, you have to meet their criteria, and there's a 15, 20-step process that you have to comply with, a questionnaire you need to answer, money you need to pay, and that can get you back in the game, but still you are regulated, and if you fail or you moving forward, you abuse your position, they can obviously terminate your position and pull you out of the auctions with Google. And so basically To sum it up, digital marketing can be expensive. Addiction treatment marketing is expensive. The clicks are very expensive, can be in excess of $100 easily. It's not hard to do that. And with that said, all of these other hurdles make it additionally hard, make it even so expensive to actually acquire clients. So here's what we're going to do. That's the problem. We know what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people. But our problem is all of this. All of these issues have arisen that have increased the cost per acquisition. So with all that said, we're now going to move forward and we're going to give you some guidelines and some help and some information of what you can do, what works, what we've known works, with all our experience in the past, how you can still make this work and still make it financially viable. Because at the end of the day, I know we're trying to help people, but it's a business at the end of the day and you still have to be profitable. You can't help people if you're not profitable. So let's move forward. So firstly, let's sum up digital marketing. Digital marketing is a number of aspects. Firstly, web. The first point, the first representation of your company that people, will see in a digital world is probably your website. Once they've clicked on an ad or followed a link, so they get to your website. And so the first impression is the most important impression. It's like meeting someone. What do you think of that website? Does it look legitimate? Does it look, authoritative? Does it want you to, does it make you want to click on the link and stay there and look at further details? And then on top of that, so that's just the visual aspect, you then have to say, okay, is it optimized? What was the performance like? Now 60-70% of your clients are probably coming to you from mobile. Was it mobile optimized? Was it mobile responsive? Did it have AMP? These are all functionalities and features of mobile website. And in Google are actually looking more now and actually put your mobile experience ahead of your desktop experience and want to know, for ranking purposes, how well your site works on a mobile device. So from that perspective, web design and mobile responsive web design is the single most important factor to a lot of the following issues and getting the best value in the following areas as well. You have social media. Do you have social media presence? Are you putting out social posts? I'm going to fly through these quickly because I'm going to come back to most of them moving forward. Paid search. Are you paying? Do you have campaigns set up for paid search? Video. Are you creating content? Content is engaging and it helps educate your potential clients and customers so that they can come to your website and they understand you better. Very informative. Email. Email is a brilliant tool, one of the oldest tools for digital marketing around. And it can be used in very effectively in campaigns, drip campaigns, trigger campaigns, all sorts of things to help re-engage or engage or close sales and just keep customers informed. And then SEO, partly to do with your web design, partly to do with your content, partly to do with, a social media and links and blogs and things like that. So SEO is the organic version of paid search. So you have paid search and organic search. SEO is the one you don't pay for, which is really your ultimate goal if you can achieve it. So with all that said, what strategies are there for marketing? There's two primary strategies, and we'll cover those here. There's branding and there's direct response. So when we think of branding, when we think of companies that are good at branding, you obviously think of Coca-Cola and Pepsi and things like that. So it's really brand recognition. So you have to say, okay, do we want to brand this company? Is our goal to brand this company? Now, if you want to brand something, Coca-Cola didn't become a household name and one of the biggest, one of the most recognized words in the world overnight. Branding takes time, it takes money, and a lot of money and a lot of time, but you get a lot of benefits out of that as well. You get enhanced credibility, competitive edge, customer loyalty, customer recognition, these things that are really important and help customers and clients pick you to provide the service they need. But as I say, it's expensive and it takes a long time. And now for new businesses, that might not be a viable option or a viable path to go down. So the other option is direct response. Direct response being you spend $1 on advertising and there is some call to action, something in the adverts that is causing a direct response, someone to pick up the phone and call you and convert to a client. In the addiction industry, it's a crisis industry. People need help there and then. So direct response works very well in that particular industry. So, and let's just go over the benefits quickly of the direct response side of it. So, with direct response, you can calculate, you can attribute your conversions back to the spend. So it enables you to get your return on investment. How much did this client actually cost me? Where did they come from? And then once you have that information, you can optimize your performance, your campaigns to perform better or work in certain ways. And that enables you to improve the quality of your sales and the quality of your clients that you get from your direct response marketing. And then finally, it's adjustable and you can control volumes. So if one day you say, hey, we need more admits, we need more patients, we need more leads, the call center's quiet, you can put more spend into it, you get more leads. If you're too busy one day, you say, hey, you know what, we just need to dial that back a bit and reduce the spend, reduce the cost per click, and you get less volume. So it's very controllable, and you can understand and attribute your conversions, your leads, your clients, your admits back to your spend, which is vitally important. And now an offshoot actually of direct response as well is the fact that it will attribute towards branding. You will initially get some branding impact out of your direct response once you get clients, if they're good. If your reputation is good and you make sure you're going above and beyond to exceed expectation, you're going to end up generating some branding. People will post, you have blogs, and you will get some branding out of it just through the fact that you've had clients through the door. So an offshoot of direct response is branding. So in the addiction treatment space, new clients, new companies, the best avenue and the best methodology to follow is direct response digital marketing. And then maybe a proportion of very small, maybe 10%, 20% if you've got budget to do it on branding, if that really is something you want to go down. But direct response, $1 in, $2 out scenario, it's the way to go and the way to control it and the way to monitor it and give you the best opportunity to succeed. And then so with that, so we've now decided we're doing digital marketing, we're going to do direct response. Where are the channels? Where can we actually do direct response marketing? Well, there's a few of them. We sort of covered them earlier. You've got paid search on the search engines. You've got organic search. We've covered the difference. One you're paying for, one you're getting because your company is authoritative or its content is relating to the search of the client. You then have content and blogs. If there are blogs out there, people write things. They have their own personal blogs, people writing about you. Backlinks, beyond blogs, backlinks like directories and things like that might have links, or research, resource sites where they have links back to your site, knowing that you're an authority in the business or that you have information that is pertinent to what someone is looking for. Social media posts. Social media is massive. Everyone knows, everyone has a social media account, and the impact on social media is massive. If you can get viral information out there, that's even better. And in addition to just regular social posts that people are making from their experiences and interactions with you and your own social posts, you can then go on and do paid in the same way you can do with paid search. You can do paid social media ads. And then finally, once again, we spoke about it, the naughty cousin, the one we don't talk about, is the email. And again, a very useful tool if you have emailing lists and if you've collected that information, which hopefully you will, because that's a good practice to get into. You have a means of reaching out, communicating, re-engaging, and just keeping people informed about your business and your services and new services. So from now, I've gone very quick, and I do apologise, and I get it. My accent might be confusing you at the best of moments. But anyway, we will crack on and we'll talk about paid search. Now, paid search has the potential. Now, paid search is on two platforms primarily, Google and Bing. Google being 90%, I would imagine, or thereabouts of your paid search. Bing probably putting in the other 8%, and then some others making up the last 2. So Google and Bing are your paid search channels and paid search points. And then what you need to know about paid search. Now, paid search has a lot of good attributes, and you could probably get all of your admits off of paid search. But we're going to just highlight some of the aspects of paid search here. We'll throw them up so you can see, and I'll go through them. It's extremely targeted, but the paid search enables you to only deliver your ads on certain things people are searching for, in certain areas, certain ages, certain days, certain times. It's extremely targeted. You can do it down to a zip code. If you wanted to say, hey, if someone in 33176 is searching for loaves of bread, put an ad out there. it's that targeted. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's that targeted, which is great. It's quick to execute. Once your campaigns are set up, it's very fast. You hit the play button, and within 20 minutes, the accounts are active, and your phones are ringing, or people are on your website. So it's quick to execute. Um, and flexibility to optimize. So once you're tracking, and once you've got that, you can say, hey, you know what? We're not going to be open now at weekends, so let's optimize our accounts. Let's turn the ads off at the weekend. So in the same way that it was targeted, you can optimize it based off of that as well. But the most important thing here is that it's measurable results. I spoke about it with direct marketing. Direct marketing with PPC has measurable results, and you can attribute it all the way back to what keyword did we pay for that generated the search. Was it drug rehab? Was it addiction treatment? Was it AA? So we know whatever we spent on those keywords generated us, what return it generated us, what admits, what leads, what phone calls it generated. So it's extremely measurable. And by being measurable means you can optimize, means it's cost effective. It's the only way you can become cost effective. As long as you're measuring your results and you're optimizing your account performance, it becomes cost effective. So that's really paid search. And this paid search, depending on volumes, people say, well, what's the CPA? What's the CPA? Can I get a $5,000 CPA? Can I get a $6,000 per CPA? It really depends on volume. You know, you could go out and I could tell you keywords that would get you a $3,000 CPA. Can you scale that up and get 100 beds? No. If you scale it up, your CPA is going to start to creep up. Now, can you get a $6,000 CPA? Yes. Can you get an $8,000? It's really, there is no fixed answer to that because it depends on the volume and how much you're trying to get through paid search. So in answer to your questions, you can optimize this account using your measurable results to find the best performing keywords. And that's the name of the game. We're going to try and target the best performing keywords because we're going to set the campaigns up in such a way that we have that information at the point of admit, that we can say, where did that person who we've just admitted today come from, and what did it cost us to get them there? So that's brilliant. That's fantastic. We'll be doing that. And so with that, you know, you can get low CPAs, as I say. If you wanted 2 or 3 admits, you can do it. Yeah, I can tell you keywords right now that would get you that. Or if your volumes go up, as volume goes up, the CPA goes up. So, I'm trying to think now. Maybe a ballpark would be near a double digit, so like 8, 9, 10 maybe as a CPA. But what will happen if you've really optimized and you're doing the conversion properly for an average facility, and that CPA will be blended with your other channels, with your other methods of marketing to average it out to a lower CPA. So you want to build up on the other methods as well, and one of those primarily being organic search. So organic search, so here's the beauty of organic search, it's on the same 2 platforms. So your paid ads and your organic ads appear at the same place on the same site. Some have, the top 3 have ad next to them, so they're the ones that you're paying for. Below that is organic. So organic you've acquired because the search engine believes that your content is relative to what the person is searching for. That you have people, and your site is trusted. People have linked to your site. There's a lot of decisions in the algorithm that they use to decide, and the algorithm changes, but they basically decide, you know, are you trustworthy, are you authoritative, and does your content relate to the search? If it does, that's great, we'll list you. Now if you can get there, that's wonderful. And like, here's some of the reasons why and what happens. You get highly qualified prospects. Now the last report that I ran relating to this, going from a lead, once leads had been acquired in a call center for addiction treatment, to admit, showed that organic search, PPC, converted better than paid search. So that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So you need less resources and less time to actually process them. So if you can get SEO content, SEO sites triggering for good keywords, you can generate your traffic. And it's sustainable. So once you're on there, once you're ranking for keywords, it's not going to suddenly stop. You know, like PPC. With PPC, it's great. You turn it on, you turn it off when you don't need it. But once you turn it off, you then don't continue to get leads and don't continue to get calls. Once you rank with organic, however, you're listed there. The probability is if you're listed today, you're going to be listed tomorrow. Now, Google might change their algorithm, might penalize you, might change what they're doing, but that normally doesn't mean you disappear completely. You'll still get traffic. You might drop in ranking, and you can modify your site to accommodate any changes in algorithms, but it's sustainable. And the best thing about that, by being sustainable, the fact that once you've set it up and once you set it up correctly, it becomes cost effective in the long run, because you're essentially getting admits, money for old rope, in as far as your admits are coming off of money that you've invested. And every time you get another admit, it reduces your overall CPA from the spend that you invested initially to set up your site, to set up your content, because every admit is then, a result of that spend that you did. Now, that's brilliant, and it gives you the edge as well, because if you're organically listed and you're on PPC, there people are looking at you saying, okay, you're listed twice, you've got an ad, but you're also organic, so that makes me believe that you're more authoritative and highly creditable. So you've got double the chance of being clicked, but you've also got that impression that you're giving people that you're an authoritative, company, and that you're not just there through paid, you're there through organic, and it helps in conversion and helping click-through rate, definitely, from having 2 entries being listed. But here's the thing, here's the rub with organic search. Organic search, PPC, you turn on, you decide I'm going to be running PPC today, and you are paying to be present. You hit the button, you pay, you play, your ads show up. Organic doesn't work like that. You need to realize that there's a window of time that, from when you start coming out with your SEO game plan until it actually is in full fruition. Now, that might be 12 months, it might be 15 months, it might be 9. It depends on the industry, the keywords that you're trying to target, and how competitive it is. Now, addiction treatment is extremely competitive. So, 12 months is probably a reasonable window of time to say, hey, you'll get your, you're starting to see a good return after 12 months. And so what you need to do is think, okay, when the doors of this facility are opening, we need to have been working on our SEO for 12 months at least, and have started building our content, coming up with a content plan, coming up with a strategy to how we're going to get an authoritative site, build our backlinks, build our content, and have stuff that's relative to what people are looking for. And that's an art in itself. So you have to do the research and understand, the industry and your business, and then get content plan built out to try and optimize it to the best of your ability, so that when you open on day one, SEO is kicking in and helping towards reducing your CPA. So if you're opening in a year's time, 12 months earlier is when you want to start actively building out your SEO and building out your website to get you the best result the day you start business. So we've gone through the 2 search engines. Now you've got social media. Social media is big out there now. You've got lots of different platforms, and a few of them we're throwing up here: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of which give you a great exposure to potential clients. And I'll throw up these little bubbles here and tell you, thought leadership, community building, and social proofing. So when you're running social media, people are aware of you. You're getting a little bit of brand awareness. They remember you. You're building a community. If people relate to this, they'll start liking you, liking your group. If you have a group, they'll start joining into that, and they'll start getting your post. Once they like your post, they'll get another one in their feed, and you become a thought leader. You become an authority in a subject, and people start to remember you and trust you, and you build a community, which is all great. And that actually as well helps with SEO and your SEO game plan as well, because any social linking is a trigger as well towards your SEO rankings. And then finally, we spoke about it as well, the email side of it. Email is brilliant. Email, if you have mailing lists, the value that can be had out of email is great, considering it's extremely quick to implement. You can send messages out in real time. You can be personalised, which is great, because nothing gets someone's attention more than you saying their name. So if you send an email to John, hey, say hi John as the subject, it's going to get their attention more than anything else. So if you can have personalised content, you can send it out frequently on drip campaigns, and based off of triggers and their interactions and their touch points with your business. If they click on a link, go to a site, you can send them out another email relating to that subject. Um, and basically, you're just spreading the information and your information about your business, new products, discounts, offers, services, and just customer awareness. So it's great in that respect. So we've touched on all these things that the digital marketing gets involved with and deals with. But here's the secret. And you wanted to know. I was asked last week. Well, why do we want you? Why can't we do this ourselves? You know what? You can do it yourself. So here are 6 points that will tell you how to do it yourself. If you follow these, if you grab your camera, pause it, take a picture of the screen. These are the 6 points that you need to cover to do this yourself. You do not need me, but so here it is, and I'll tell you how to do it. The first thing you have to do is research your industry. You have to understand your industry. Do internet searches, third-party tools to analyze your industry, keyword analysis, all that good stuff. And then combine that with an analysis of your business. What's your business website? Do you have a business website? Where's the traffic coming? What's on your site? What's your content? What keywords do you currently trigger for? What don't you trigger for? So then you've built up an understanding and a knowledge base of the industry and the business. And so with that, you can build out a campaign, a project, a content plan, depending on what you're trying to do. If it's PPC, SEO, email. So let's say it's PPC. Once you understand the industry and you understand your business, you can build out a campaign. You can decide what keywords do I want to get ads based off of. Is it drug rehab? Is it addiction treatment? Which ones so then you build out your campaign, you build out your ads, and then once you've done that, you execute them. And there is no rush. The more time you spend building out your campaigns and understanding your business and doing a proper job, the better. Don't get fooled into thinking this is a quick and easy process, because the longer you take to do it and the more thorough you are in doing it and creating single keyword ad groups and actually spending the time to do it, the better your campaign will be, and the easier it will be to scale it up, scale it down, and actually understand what's going on. So once we're there, we execute the campaign. We turn on a PPC campaign. We turn on our drip campaigns. We start our SEO content plan. That's great, but the next thing, the most important thing, and the only thing that enables us to move forward and understand is if we have means to measure the results. Now, I was asked the other day, what's my job title? And I think my job title is customization and optimization, something along those lines. And so here, this is the secret. If you cannot measure your results, you cannot optimize your accounts. So it's all well and good saying, hey, we spent $100,000 and we got 20 admits or 10 admits. But unless you can attribute them back to exactly what it was, the lowest common denominator, what keyword did we search on, whereabouts were they, what state were they in, what time was it, what day of the week was it, unless you can attribute it back to the lowest common denominator and actually segment those results, you can't really then start to optimize and improve your results. Some people might just say, I've got an account, it works really well when my spend is X, but if I need to increase my spend to 2X, it no longer works. And now that's just because that's the spot where everything works well. They haven't got an account that they can optimize correctly and don't track the conversions correctly, so they have no control over scaling it up or scaling it down. So don't get fooled into that. What you need is an account that has conversions that you can track. So the measurable aspect of this is the single most important thing to making this work long term. You spend all this time setting it up, make sure you can measure it. And then finally manage those results. So if something comes back and it says this keyword, because you can now attribute all the way back to the lowest common denominator, let's say, hey, on a Monday it's costing us 20,000 for an admit, on a Wednesday it's costing us 5,000 for an admit. Well, let's stop spending money on a Monday and start spending on a Wednesday. Monday happens to be the most expensive day of the week, so maybe that would be the case. But these numbers are hypothetical. I'm just throwing them out there. They aren't particularly true, but it is more expensive on a Monday, so maybe you reduce your spend on a Monday and increase it on a Wednesday. I do not know. It would depend on how much advertising you're doing and stuff like that. But that's just an example. So you need to manage your results to optimize to get the best value for your money. And so here's an example of how that works and what it does for you. This graph I've taken the axis off, but you can obviously see it's last year. This was a client. They had been running for a long time. and you can see their CP. If we look in the middle of the screen, you can see right in the middle there under conversion track and the orange line going along. You can see the blue line slowly coming down, the CPCs. We're trying to get the CPCs down, which is working slowly, and the orange line going along is the spend. So if we look at this point here, you can see here we've really started to work on the CPCs, and we started to take the data that we're learning. We start to take the data that we've been collecting off of the conversion information and trying to put it back into the system to optimize the account, work out which keywords are working, work out what times are working, what days are working, and then we're feeding this information back, and at this point it starts to pay off. So for 7 days, this is a 7-day trailing average, so that's why it's nice and smooth to a degree. But at this point here, this second point, so we've done some initial testing with the data, and we've seen it's been working because it's been bringing down the CPCs and the cost. But at this point here, the second point, we said, okay, now we're confident that the data is working, we'll do more changes, using the data that we've now collected. At which point, within 7 days, the CPC and the cost have both come down, as you can see, dramatically. They've effectively, overnight they dropped. So within 7 days, you see the maximum effect, they drop. Now it starts going up afterwards because we then start implementing some positive changes as far as saying, okay, what ones can we now turn on? So that's why you see that then start moving forward and going up slightly, because we're then trying to maximize the opportunity, so increase spend. We don't mind doing that if a CPC goes up, if it has a good return, but we're really looking at these 2 red arrows, because what this has done by using the conversion optimization, which is the key to making this successful and making you competitive with everyone else, is we've reduced your CPM, we've reduced the spend by 30%. It's actually over, it depends whereabouts you look on the graph, but it's approximately 30%. So we've reduced your CPA by 30%, which is huge. If you're spending $100 million a month, which is easily to do. $1 million might get you 100 admits, let's say, if they were 10,000 each. That's just saved you $300,000 a month, $3 million a year, just by doing the correct processes and putting the correct procedures in place. So once again, I was asked the other day, why would we want to use you? And I'll say it again, PPC and digital marketing is extremely expensive. The addiction treatment space is extremely expensive, so it's a very fast way of losing a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. And if you do know what you're doing, you can make it extremely profitable or make yourself more competitive in the industry by implementing systems like this that we've done in the past. So basically, why us? I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. We've shown here that we've managed to implement solutions to reduce clients' CPAs and expense. And you can see there from that previous graph how that was implemented and when it was implemented and the effect that it had. Improved lead-to-bed conversion rates. We've implemented and designed internal systems to help the process of actually approving and then getting people into bed. So, that helps with the lead-to-bed conversion rate. We have a proven track record in the industry. No one's going to let you spend $80 million if you haven't shown or proven yourself in this marketplace, and that is something we've done. And finally, and I just said it just a minute ago, this is the quickest path to profitability with the reduced learning curve. So you can do it yourself, and I've shown you how to do it. I gave you those 6 steps, and if you want to, that's fine. Hopefully this will help. But the quickest way for you to become profitable is by taking people who have already done it, who have done it and know how to do it and can do it again, to give you the fighting chance of getting your company up and as successful as soon as possible and getting those beds filled as soon as possible. So with all that said, I thank you for your time, and if you've lasted this long, I appreciate you listening to me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and contact me, and thank you once again.